So today is, yes, we are live. Let me check. The screen is shared. Yes, it seems so. Yes. Okay. Welcome once again to this weekly edition of Thunder Thursdays, Finance for Healthcare Professionals, episode number 21 of the 26 weeks. Today's topic is a very, very interesting one topic. I get to, you can say, answer this question every now and then whenever I have a physical meetup with a colleague or a friend. And trust me, these sort of topics are the ones that are the most confusing for many, many of you. And please do listen to the same in full if you want to have a complete understanding, because it is all, you can say, we categorize everything by one incident sometimes. As they say, never judge a book by its cover. So always read the full contents, always have a full knowledge before you hop on. So as usual, all my presentations always begin with thanking the Lord Almighty who's given me much more than what I deserve. And of course, when it comes to finance, I have to thank my dad who was instrumental in teaching me the clinical part of finance. All that you're learning, of course, is majority of that is courtesy of my dad. Thank you, Dad. Miss you always. So this is my brief CV. You are all aware of it by now. Let's move on. The topic for this week is risk management in finance. What is its alignment with the goals that we have set? Is so the problem is the risk management. मैंने अपना पैसा लगाया, मेरा पैसा डूब गया, या मेरा पैसा टेम्पररी डाउन है. What should I do? These are a few things that I will be answering in today's session. Of course, risk management is all about the strategy, transfer, accept, avoid, reduce, and all those things, and of course, the control part. So let me first give you a definition. The definition says that identify the risks in advance, analyze them, and take steps to reduce the risk. अब आप लोग पूछोगे कि फाइनेंस में रिस्क क्या है? The primary risk is the erosion of your capital. If I say erosion of your capital, that means जितना आपने इन्वेस्ट किया, let's suppose आपने 10,000 इन्वेस्ट किया, वो आज के डेट में 9,000 है उसकी मार्केट वैल्यू. I'm presuming it is in the market linked instrument, anyone, stocks or mutual fund or whatever. So if its market value is 9,000, of course there are chances it will come back, but that is what is about the risk part. Now, whenever you make a financial investment, there you are always prone to risk. And again, the things depend upon the type of vehicle you have picked or the type of instrument that you have picked up. So the risks can be multiple. Inflation, volatility in markets, recession, bankruptcy. So there can be multiple. Of course, fund managers do keep your investment in a secured manner, the kind of volatility that is happening. For example, just today only the market was trading -4, -500, -300 something for the major part of the day. Ultimately, it closed 500 points higher. That's just the volatility going on since many, many weeks now, especially after the Russia-Ukraine war. So if you are paying attention to the risk capital, the risk investment, trust me, you are ignoring one vital part of your financial scenario. Just blindly investing कि पैसा लिया और डाल दिया और सो गए कबूतर की तरह, it is a wrong. Not putting everything in FD is a good, which is a low risk. Yes, it also has a risk. People say, nahi, FD safe hai. No, FD also has a risk. I'll enumerate you today. A high investment surely has a risk. So, risk सब में है. रिस्क तो आपके घर से बाहर जाके सड़क पार करने में भी. Just imagine and remember this one line. So I'll just narrate a very short story that happened very recently. The stock market. One of my friends was talking to me. The stock market let me down. मैंने सोचा था मैं पैसे निकालूंगा और अब मेरे बच्चे को बाहर भेजना था. मैंने यूएस उसकी फीस की फंडिंग हो जाएगी. लेकिन रशिया यूक्रेन का अटैक हो गया और सब कुछ मिट्टी में चला गया. क्या फायदा ऐसे फाइनेंशियल एडवाइजर्स का, फाइनेंशियल प्लानर्स का, अगर मेरे जैसे स्मॉल इन्वेस्टर का वो पैसा बचा नहीं सके. Of course, you can't console also sometimes. नहीं कोई बात नहीं ठीक हो जाएगा. You never know how long the volatility is going to last. the damage has been done. But what was important in this? A few things. Number one, everything was maybe invested in the higher risk quotient. Number two, the time horizon was really small. Because if your time horizon is at least 8 to 10 years, means आपने 8 से 10 साल पहले invest किया है. There is a huge amount of, you can say, chance that it will be still in much green, and very, very less chance that it is just equal or maybe in red. If somebody wakes up late, it does not mean कि सूरज भी आज लेट निकलेगा. सूरज तो अपने टाइम पे निकलेगा. So you have to understand that where do you fall, in which category. सूरज से बाद उठने वाले, सूरज से पहले उठने वाले. We cannot generalize matters when it comes to finance. अगर कोई फाइनेंशियल प्रूडेंस को प्रिडिक्ट कर दे तो वो फिर ज्योतिषी हुआ ना, वो फाइनेंशियल प्लानर थोड़ा ना. महारत तो उसी में है ना, या इंटेलेक्ट या स्किल तो उसी में है ना. अगर दैट गाय कैन मिनिमाइज द रिस्क एट द स्लाइटेस्ट अपॉर्चुनिटी, that this thing has started, this thing has a potential to boomerang and you can say turn into a big one. Let's secure and switch our investments for the time from equity to debt, so that जो अब तक के gains हैं, we neutralize that, we gain that, we don't lose them. But then it is all about certain things. As I said, there are 2 points in this: the instrument chosen, the time. The third point is the amount. Some people live with the philosophy of आज ही सवेरा, आज ही सबसे end, और आज में ही जीना. They don't think about tomorrow. पूत कपूत तो क्यों धन संचय, पूत सपूत तो क्यों धन संचय. No gender bias, but if your progeny is good, they'll earn themselves. If your progeny or your offsprings are bad, they will destroy whatever even you have amassed. So somebody who's spending extravagantly, responding to their earnings in a positive way. हम तो सारे पैसे हैं, निकलवाते हैं, खाते हैं, ऐश करते हैं, जिंदगी जीते हैं. क्या करना जोड़ के, कल किसको चाहिए? Fair enough. You live with this philosophy. I don't have any objections. You live with it. But someone who feels excessively confident, since sometimes they are preparing for an unexpected incident, so they are preparing. My family has a history of heart attacks. My family has a medical history. I can't take chance on the medical side. I am the sole earning member of my family. So I will take more of the medical insurance on the higher side and the term insurance in case something happens to me. This is the mindset. Fair enough. You understand the risks which are associated with it, with your family. Just a very small example of why a medical insurance, term insurance is compulsory. कई लोग सोचते हैं हम तो चित्रगुप्त से दोस्ती करके आए हैं कि we will live for 100 years. It's not possible. Life is uncertain. Nobody knows how long they are going to live. What are the lessons from all this about the risk management part, from the Russia-Ukraine war especially? Let's see. The thing is, people perceive, उनकी सोच है ये कि प्लानिंग और जो फाइनेंशियल एडवाइस मिलती है उसका मतलब है कि फोरकास्ट द फ्यूचर. मार्केट ऊपर जाने वाली है, मार्केट बहुत ऊपर जाएगी. मार्केट डूबने वाली है, मार्केट बहुत नीचे जाएगी. टू फोरकास्ट द फ्यूचर. अगर वो प्लानिंग एंड एडवाइस है तो इट इज नॉट अ फोरकास्टिंग. ओनली 2 people can predict the market, God and liar. And if you are either of, if you are neither of the two, you cannot expect the answers going your way. But people expect a few questions that even I get it many a times in my WhatsApp groups where these sessions happen. Of course, otherwise also from my workshop groups. The problem is that nobody has perfect answers to all of them. The answers are always situation dependent and you can say unique to a particular situation. And that is what many people do not understand. So what are those questions? Let's have a look. What is the return I can expect? We'll always give a range. Is this a good time to invest? What is your mode of investment? अब मैं ये क्वेश्चन के आगे एक अपना काउंटर क्वेश्चन कर रहा हूँ या आंसर दे रहा हूँ. Is it a good time to invest? It depends upon your mode primarily, but no time is bad time to invest. When should I book my profits? It depends upon your goals. It depends upon your needs. How long should I stay invested? The longer the possible. Is this the right stocks or the funds to buy? You can rely on the past performance, but you cannot predict the future. Did anybody predict the future of Yes Bank? No. Will it behave as well as it did in the past? Most likely, but not surely. The financials may have to be studied. The balance sheet may have to be studied. What are the company's expansion plan? What are the company's, you can say, for future vision for the company? What are the assets they are willing to acquire? What are the investments they are going to make? So these are a few things that will decide their future performance. We all are humans, and those people who are running stocks and companies are also humans. And every human being has one common thing, whether they accept or not, they make mistakes. And if they make mistakes, who's going to correct them? We ourselves. The problem is not in, you can say, having a risk. As I said, sadak par karne mein bhi risk hai. The problem is identification of the risk and taking an action accordingly. We sometimes keep on relying on our luck. नहीं इतना बुरा थोड़ा होगा मेरे साथ, भगवान है ना मेरे साथ. You get an opportunity, you get in time, but you still don't take action. That is your biggest flaw. Risk सब पे आया. जिसने अपनी इन्वेस्टमेंट स्विच कर ली बच गया. The market corrected. The market Nifty had gone up to 18,204 points in October 2021. From that high, it has corrected almost 15% till now. And this volatility is going to continue. And what did happen that RBI and the Fed and those people had to raise rates? Inflation. Russia-Ukraine war led to shortage. Each country is dependent upon each other. Of course, we were not exporting and importing everything from Russia and Ukraine, but we were associated with the adjoining countries, which made a difference. The primary example is petrol. Of course, when the petrol and the diesel go up, everything associated with the cost of living goes up. And for how long can the banks can always keep their CRR low? So if they have to curb inflation, they have to snatch the money back from people. COVID meant when the demand had reduced, more money is given in the hand of people so that the spending can increase, the cycle goes on, the supply chain is restored, and ultimately, you can say things get on track. The cycle which had, you can say, been destroyed in 1.5 months of lockdown initially, or 4 weeks, 8 weeks. So obviously then second wave, then third wave, that kept on happening. So more money was given by keeping the repo ratio low. But now, how long can that continue to happen? People were not making any investments. Everybody was drifting towards stock markets, equity markets. Nobody was doing any conservative investments because they were citing 5%, 6%, 7%. Kya milta hai isme? The inflation is way high. So ultimately, the repo rates were raised, and that meant less money with the banks to give loans, less money in the hands of public to, you can say, spend. And automatically, if the spending is less, the demand goes down, the supply goes down, and the inflation can be kept in check. This is a cycle that is broadly followed. But then, coming back to the questions, should I invest or in lump sum or should I invest in installments? लमसम वालों के तो सिर्फ यही होता है कि मार्केट बॉटम हो गई है, मैं डाल दूं. For guys who are doing SIP or you can say small EMI based investment, like IMI means the SIP part only. For them, it is very simple. There is no right time to enter the market. Every time is the right time. So these are a few questions that are asked, but everyone has to do some own soul searching to get an answer to them. How would one take action without knowing all this? This is the reason I'm here. This is the reason I'm doing these things since almost 6 years now, trying to give back to dentists. Unfortunately, so many of you are not even interested. Doesn't make any difference. I'll keep on doing my duty in whatever way I can. But this is a sham that people realize it. Just today morning, I got a message from one of my workshop participants on finance. They have been given a homework in the form of a few videos to watch. And she said, "Sir, I watched your homework videos, but other than that, I watched your professional indemnity videos." And I kicked myself in the back that why I did not watch. सर आपके जैसे 1500 लोग हैं मेरे 6 ग्रुप्स में. यू नीड टू आंसर योरसेल्फ. आपके जैसे बहुत नहीं, majority हैं, ऑलमोस्ट सभी आपके जैसे. इट इज योर चॉइस. थिंग्स which are given to all of us in life for free are never valued. But then the choice is yours. People still keep on thinking नहीं है फ्री में कर रहा है, कुछ ना कुछ मांगेगा, कुछ ना कुछ मांगेगा. 6 साल हो गए, अभी भी वो उस उम्मीद में है कि नहीं ये कुछ करेगा. I keep on doing. I do my paid stuff also, but that is a separate thing from what I do in giving back to the profession. Let's coming back to the topic. So these are a few questions any investor must ask. How do you know all this? Exact answer is not needed, of course, but someone can provide a range or a possible set of outcomes. That is what your advice and planning is about the finances. But then people say, is it fair to expect? Isn't that fair to expect कि मेरे को कुछ ना कुछ तो आंसर मिले? ये कितनी देर में ग्रो करेगा, ये कितनी देर के लिए रखना है, अभी मैं कर लूं, अभी मैं ना करूं, कौन सा स्टॉक अच्छा है? No, not really. Financial planning is planning for the risk, not solving for the outcomes. अगर एक लाइन का सिंपल वन वर्ड आंसर होता है क्वेश्चन का, तो सारी दुनिया इन्वेस्ट करती और सारी दुनिया अमीर हो जाती. Think about it. Even for people who are investing since many years, they also make mistakes. So responses, reactions, and our choices all are dependent upon us. We have to deal with the uncertainties because these will keep on happening. No one can forecast all the events accurately. अब 2023 में वर्ल्ड वॉर शुरू हो गई. Of course, God forbid that happens. तो क्या होगा? It will be worse situation than Russia Ukraine. Of course, in today's time, it is not a possibility. But I'm just letting you know, even worse things can happen. So we have to prepare for the uncertainty ahead. People who don't think about the risks in their life, they are not preparing for the worst. मैं आपको सिंपल से एग्जांपल देता हूँ. हम लोग निकलते हैं घर से कि रेलवे स्टेशन जाना है, एयरपोर्ट जाना है, या कहीं भी इस जगह या कोई मीटिंग के लिए जाना अर्जेंट, वी कांट मिस. वी बिलीव दैट ट्रैफिक में ना फंस जाए. व्हाट वी डू? बेस्ड ऑन आवर एक्सपीरियंस वी चूज अ रूट. नहीं ये शॉर्टकट है, या इस रोड पे चाहे लंबा, इस रोड पे ट्रैफिक नहीं होता. एंड वी स्नैच दैट अपॉर्चुनिटी एंड ट्राई टू गेट अहेड ऑफ आवर पीयर्स. यहाँ पे उस तरह से पहुंच जाए. थोड़ा सा ज्यादा लगेगा टाइम, बट वी कीप अ मार्जिन एंड विल डू दैट. बट अगर उस बाईपास रोड पे, उस शॉर्टकट पे, उस लॉन्ग कट पे भी रश हो गया उस दिन, whom will you blame? No one. तो रिस्क तो उसमें चाहे कम था. जैसे शहर वाली रोड से जाएंगे तो 80% चांस, 90% चांस की ट्रैफिक में फंसेंगे. बाईपास से जाएंगे तो, लॉन्ग कट से जाएंगे तो प्रॉबेबली 10 to 20% चांस. बट इफ दैट 10-20 कम्स थ्रू दैट डे, तो आपकी प्लानिंग धरी की धरी रह गई. व्हाट हैपेंस? यू आर इन अ हरी टू क्रॉस द रोड. You're just talking, okay, मैं लेट हो रहा हूँ, talking on the phone, right, but and crossing the road. A vehicle just grazes you. Just fall down and fracture your leg. Everything in your life comes to a standstill. Everything that was to be done in a hurried manner is now delayed for 1.5 months. This is a risk only. This is just for traffic, for crossing the road. I'm just giving an example. अब जब ट्रैफिक में फंस जाता है बंदा क्या करता है, फोन चार्ज हो, चार्जर से रिमूव मत करो उसको, कार में पानी हो, कुछ खाने को हो, ताकि अगर ट्रैफिक में फंस जाए तो कुछ ना कुछ हो. People keep all sorts of namkeens and liquids and drinks in their car, especially metropolitans, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Bengaluru. And then कार में सुनने के लिए गाने भी होता है कि बोर ना होए. Of course, FMs are always there, but आजकल ऐड बहुत आती है, इसलिए मैं अपने गाने सुनूंगा. And then we all try to, you can say, अगर ज्यादा रश है उस तरह है तो अगर महंगा है पेट्रोल, we'll take a pooled one or a public transport which at least metro can at least make us reach on time. मेट्रो का ट्रैफिक से कोई लेना देना तो नहीं है ना, unless there is a technical snag. उस दिन इलेक्ट्रिसिटी फेलियर हो जाए तो मेट्रो भी रुक गई. I'm just telling you about small risks that can happen in every sphere. Then why finance is an exception? So how we deal with the situation, हमारी planning, resources, energies are all utilized in that direction, in that situation. You plan for a travel. You have a small kid at home. You will try कि जो आपका mode of transport हो उसमें early morning travel ना हो, कि छोटे बच्चे को उठने में प्रॉब्लम आएगी. You'll try कि होटल का रूम स्पेशियस हो. You'll try if you're going to a hill station वो रूम हाइट पे ना हो, so that the kid doesn't have to be carried in the lap. गोदी में उठा लो, मैं थक गई, मैं थक गया, like that. So you plan for that situation. So much of your planning, resourcing, energies go in that direction. We all love if there is no traffic jam. नहीं तो क्या होगा, एक दूसरे को कोसेंगे ही ना. लोगों को अकल नहीं है चलाने की, ट्रैफिक में क्या करते हैं, दूसरों का टाइम वेस्ट करते हैं. But that happens. There are some problems, there are some risks that we cannot just control. And same is the risk with financial planning. We can prepare for our responses, but you can't forecast or control it fully. आपको लग रहा है मार्केट नीचे जाएगी तो आप अपना इक्विटी से डेट में स्विच कर दो. At least your gains till that point are secured. This is the way things happen. So uncertainty and risk का बड़ा एक simplified model है. Uncertainty 1, consequence 1, uncertainty 3, consequence 2, uncertainty 4, consequence 3. This is the way you write out the uncertainties and the consequences which can make you there. If you follow that, you will be prepared. You will be prepared for all the worst things in life, more or less. So obviously certain things we say कि अगर हम कुछ भी plan कर सकते हैं तो we have to say trust and dependability. ये फाइनेंशियल एडवाइजर इज गुड, इसने मेरे को बता दिया था मार्केट ऊपर जाने वाली है, मैंने इसके कहे पे लगा दिया, देखो आज मेरे पैसे कितने ग्रो कर गए. फ्लिप सिचुएशन, ही इज अ स्टूपिड फाइनेंशियल एडवाइजर, इसने मेरे को बताया नहीं कि वॉर के बाद इतनी मार्केट गिरेगी, अदरवाइज मैं स्विच कर लेता, इसको खुद ही कर देना चाहिए था, ये पैसे किस चीज के लेता. सो योर ट्रस्ट एंड डिपेंडेबिलिटी आर डिपेंडेंट अपॉन द रिस्क पार्ट, बट दैट डज नॉट मीन that you leave everything to that guy. That guy means a financial advisor. That is why you should know each and everything, especially pertaining to your money. I'm not saying you do everything yourself. I'm saying learn everything so that you can create it. हम लोग ऑफिस में, क्लिनिक में नया एम्प्लॉय रखते हैं. He or she asks, सर मेरे को क्या क्या काम करना है. You tell, तुम्हें आके ये करना, ये करना. You define the roles a little bit. थोड़ी देर बाद, सर हो गया, अब मैं क्या करूं, वो तुम देखो. Is he supposed to know? Unless we give clarity, how are we supposed to judge his capability? We try to do, ये तुम देखो, ये तुम्हारा काम है. We leave it like this. Even if you have delegated your finances to a financial advisor, you need to still know about the finances so that you can at least counter question, not question, but counter question that guy. Why this decision and why not that decision? Knowledge is not about accumulation. It is about a practical application. For example, Indigo has a 98% on-time record. It has a credibility. You give the work to a friend, he does it on time. Credibility. He is a dependable guy. Any telecom company renders to your complaint, this is the dependable company. So we want lives to be easy, smooth, so that problems will have lesser mind space. But then अगर हमारे दिन में सारी अनएक्सपेक्टेड चीजें हो जाएं, तो भी से यार टाइम ही खराब चल रहा है हमारा. We need to understand. We all want benefits of planning and take pride in being prepared. सारा कुछ टाइम पे करेंगे, तरीके से करेंगे, मार्जिन रख के चलेंगे, but still we get delayed sometimes. Lot of energy and time is spent in planning. If you're doing a task for the first time, you will really need to spend a lot of time. But if you're caught unprepared, or you don't plan well, or if you have not been in that situation, you will actually burn out a lot of energy in that part. But all these cannot make us complacent that things will still go as predicted. The risk cannot be moved from high to medium to low. It is your own thing that you have to understand. What I was telling my friend's story. You put in money for your kids' higher education, which should be at least 1 year away when you want to withdraw. You don't withdraw just 2 minutes before. How can you be so predictable about the stock market? You cannot be. And then you should have a balanced portfolio. You should have something in debt also, something in fixed category also. Everything in equity, everything in the market is surely going to give you a failure. Sometimes even prepared people suddenly become numb when everything or something goes wrong. We start screaming, start reacting, we start writhing in pain, we just clench our wrists, pinch our, you can say, bang our dashboards, whatever we do, ultimately expressing anger. Nuksan ho gaya, ye ho gaya. All these are signs of an impending loss. But if you are not aware of your losses, who else should be? Is it your financial advisor who is managing 500 other people? No. You may delegate it to manage to him, but you should be more aware or more worried about your own money than that guy who's managing 500 people. So how can an unexpected event affect us? Is what our attitude and preference for that risk is. If you don't have a risk handling capability, if your mind is not trained for that situation, you need to understand that everything that happens to you will be an accident. Remember my line. So sometimes unexpected things wake us out of our slumber. And of course, we can plan for an event, sometimes we can't, but the responses to finances can be surely unpredictable most of the time. हम लोग कई बार लोगों का मजाक कराते हैं ना, तेरी 4 बजे फ्लाइट है तो 2 बजे एयरपोर्ट पहुंच के क्या कर रहा है? But their own understanding is, I don't want to get late. I don't want to get stuck in a traffic, because mostly major airlines or most of the, you can say, major airports are in the metropolitans. You can get stuck in the traffic. Then someone like an Indigo will take off at the, you can say, the boarding time also, because their boarding is completed much before the time, much before the scheduled time, because people are aware of their 98% on time record. Of course, I'm talking about the pre-COVID time record. Now, a couple of them, again, पहले तो फ्लाइटें सारी खत्म हो गई बेचारी, तो अब बहुत सारे आ रही हैं, जेट भी आ रही है, कासा भी आ रही है, Air India and Tata, Vistara, and you can say all those have now become one. So many flights would be in action very soon. So we all need to understand that उनकी alignment ये है, उनका risk है कि I don't want to miss my flight. I can't take the risk of a loss that is going to happen if I miss my flight. Better to waste 1 hour on the airport rather than wasting my energy, you can say kicking my luck, that I am doing things at the last moment. Always remember this. अपने आप को कोसने से पहले ये याद रखना, if you don't love yourself, nobody else in the world will do that. सबसे पहले आपको अपने आप को प्यार करना आना चाहिए, दुनिया को तो बाद में प्यार करो. And that can be an unexpressive love also. हर वक्त अपने आप को कोसना, मैं हूं ही निकम्मा, मैं कोई काम कर ही नहीं सकता टाइम पे, द बॉडी विल ऑल्सो रिएक्ट। मेरे को सुबह 6 बजे उठना है, बॉडी कहेगी हट, हमारा मौलिक ही बेकार है, पनौती है, ये सारा दिन हमारे को गालियां देता है, वाई विल वी वेक इट अप? बट इफ यू लव योर सेल्फ, you can say behave well with your body, you obviously you keep the margin for mistakes. We are humans, we'll make mistakes, but if you keep yourself in sync with that, I have to get up in the morning at 6, my alarm should not fail, or I should not shut my alarm and close. The body will wake you up at 5:45, even if your alarm is at 6, because the body knows nahi hamare malik ko zarurat, he loves us. So this is one culture I want all of you to adopt. Again, as I said, sometimes money decisions rules cannot be made. Someone who is spending lavishly is doing so because that is making him happy in the current times. Somebody says, I don't have a backup plan, I am the only earning member, my family should not suffer, or I have a medical history, as I told you at the start. So any unexpected event, I should not be insecure कि आज मार्केट गिर गई, आज मेरी जॉब चलेगी, आज समथिंग हैपेंस, आज मैं डिसेबल्ड हो गया, तो मेरे पास कुछ ना कुछ बैकअप प्लान हो. सो आई एम सेविंग एंड इन्वेस्टिंग. फेयर इनफ. It all depends upon your attitude and preferences in life. When we are speaking of the investing rules, हम लोग सारे बोलते हैं पैसा ग्रो करना है तो बैलेंस्ड वे में ग्रो करो. But then if you invest in PPF or a debt related instruments, people will say, are you stupid? मार्केट में 13, 14, 15% रिटर्न मिल रहा है एंड तू 5, 6, 7% पे अटका हुआ है. You need to understand the risk preference. If the market crashes, that 13, 14, 15 will become -10. But that 5, 6, 7 will still keep 5, 6, 7. People will say, that is so LS, so low society, low thought process, conservative. Who keeps money in, you can say, low return, high liquidity product, like PPF, like FD, like debt mutual fund? I'm just giving you examples. But then it means all your eggs should not be in one basket. So people have questions for this also. What if the stock markets rise up and deliver great returns? जबकि मैं conservative में बैठा हूं कुछ portion रख के. But then we focus on outcome and miss the response. We try to follow the herd mentality. If you have not kept everything in the market, trust me guys, you will never miss the bus. You will always have multiple avenues to take care of your financial goals. And you will not rue कि मेरा उसमें क्यों नहीं है पैसा. Otherwise तो गुस्से होने के अलावा banging on the wall, banging on the table, on the dashboard, there is no option other than this. Your choice. So how do you align finance to your response, your attitude, your risk management, your risk appetite is the way you can manage your risk. And obviously we all learn by mistakes. Nobody can plan it. Once you have a thing like, for example, a Russia-Ukraine war happening, identify the potential risk, monitor and review the risk, treat the risk, evaluate and analyze. Of course, this is the risk management process, the 5 ways. So the carry home gyan for today, of course, हर asset class का risk, as I told you at the start. FD बोलते हैं ना सबसे less risk investment है, safe है. I'm not talking about 1 year insurance, 5 year, 1 lakh insurance, 5 lakh insurance by DICGC. I'm talking about the risk part in terms of the investment. We all need to understand that risks come inherent with every investment. Of course, diversification is one of the ways. I'll come to that. You need to be aware of all the risk potentials. Risk is one category that has a potential to affect your finances in a negative way. All investments will carry a risk. For example, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, exchange rate funds can lose value if market conditions are not good, for example, today's times. But the conservative investments like FDs also of inflation, they may not earn enough over time to keep pace with the increasing cost of living. एफडी आपको अगर अब बढ़ गए हैं थोड़े तो 6% दे रही है फॉर एग्जांपल, आपकी इन्फ्लेशन 7% पे, तो आप क्या करोगे? यू आर एक्चुअली पुटिंग मनी इन योर हैंड rather than going into your bank. This is the thing you need to understand. You cannot eliminate an investment risk totally. This is the moral of story for today. But the two basic strategies that can help you manage both the systemic risk and the non-systemic risk. The systemic means, of course, systemic non-systemic सिर्फ dentistry या medical science में नहीं होता है, यहाँ finance में भी होता है. Systemic risk is where the risk of affecting the economy as a whole is there, and non-systemic is where it affects only a portion of the economy or maybe a single company. Number one strategy is asset allocation. Include different asset classes in your portfolio. PPF, NPS, mutual funds, gold, stocks, in that order. In that order. Does not mean one at a time. You can pick first 3 at a time. Of course, the amount can vary. When you go on increasing, add number 4. When you further go on increasing, increase the amount in all the 4. When you are almost great and settled, हाँ investment में डाला है, add number 5. बट हम लोग क्या करते हैं, एक इसमें मेंशन नहीं है क्रिप्टो, हम क्रिप्टो से स्टार्ट करते हैं, स्टॉक्स में डालते हैं. पीपीएफ, एनपीएस, एमएफ, गोल्ड भी से व्हाट इज इट? आई डोंट इवन नो. व्हाई इज इट इवन इंपॉर्टेंट? वी डोंट इवन बॉदर. या डॉक्टर्स का फेवरेट सिंस पेरेनियल टाइम, रियल एस्टेट. ऑफ कोर्स आई हैव बीन टेकिंग अ थ्रेड ऑन इट. आई हैव डिस्कस्ड सम पोर्शन ऑफ इट इन द लास्ट संडे सेशन. I'll be discussing the same ahead in next session, so I have not included those portions in here. So in a way, you are reducing the risk of major losses by just emphasizing on a single asset class. चाहे जितनी मर्जी हाई रिटर्न हो, अगर सारी दुनिया को अमीर होना तो सारी दुनिया स्टॉक्स में डाल दे, सारी दुनिया अमीर हो जाएगी. Does that happen? No. अगर सारे अमीर हो गए, अगर यही लॉजिक होता तो सारे स्टॉक मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट करने वाले बिलियनियर्स होते. मिलियनियर छोड़ो, बिलियनियर्स होते. इज इट अ फैक्ट? नो. देन धीरे धीरे रे मना, धीरे धीरे सब होए. माली वाला जो मुहावरा था मैं भूल गया, कि मतलब ऋतु आओ फल होए. आई सॉरी, आई फॉरगॉट दैट. माय वाइफ सेज दैट फॉन्डली वेरी मेनी टाइम्स. तो जितना मर्जी आप कर लो, अगर आपकी फसल 6 महीने में पकनी है तो वो 6 में ही पकेगी. अगर अक्टूबर नवंबर में बीजोगे तो वो अप्रैल में ही हम वीट को या कणक को काटेंगे. यू कांट कि इसको डबल खाद डाल दो, डबल पानी डाल दो, डबल सारा कुछ डाल दो, इसको हम जनवरी में काट लें, नहीं काट सकते. तो सर्टेन थिंग्स विल टेक टाइम टू ग्रो. व्हेन इट कम्स टू प्रैक्टिस मैनेजमेंट, आई ऑलवेज से योर फोकस इज योर मोस्ट वैल्यूएबल एसेट. But when it comes to finance, I always say your time is your most valuable asset, not even your amount that you are investing. So don't lose out on time. The second thing is diversification. Of course, we all need to not put all eggs in one basket. I just said that. सबने अमीर होना तो सारे इक्विटी में डाल दे, सारे स्टॉक्स में डाल दे, सारे म्यूचुअल फंड में डाल दे, सारे अमीर हो गए. गोल्ड को कोई पूछेगा नहीं, पीपीएफ एनपीएस को कोई पूछेगा नहीं. The thing is, you need to understand that हर चीज का अपना एक significance है. The moment you forget that, it is the time that you try to be a superhuman. And superhumans are found only in novels and movies. We all are normal humans. Of course, some of us might be genius, but we are not superhumans. We can't compete with God. We will make mistakes. The only thing is we need to remember that we don't repeat our mistakes. Because if we are repeating our mistakes, nobody is going to tell us. It is a very fast-paced world. गलती करेंगे कोई नहीं बताने वाला, आपने ये किया, आपने वो किया. I'm still telling you in the form of my lectures and webinars, the journal things. If you identify with them, you can pinpoint your mistakes. So thank you so much for your patient hearing. I hope today's lecture was of some value to you. Of course, those who listen to it in full. Those who joined in between, maybe attended a portion, they might not have got something useful out of it, because it was a story that I weaved right from a discussion with a friend a few days back. So this is the practice management community that this is the WhatsApp community that I'm running on practice management and MLE and finance. Of course, uh, the sixth group is on, and I plan to wind up till six groups only, because it is easier for me to take session in one and forward it to five. I don't want to do it twice, so seven would be a no. The seven की बजाय मुझे 11 रखने पड़ेंगे, and 11 is a headache. So six is good enough. If you want to be added, just note my number and send me a message. People keep on posting the links. The link, please. There are no invite links in my WhatsApp groups. It is only, I am only the only admin over there, and I have made that community one by one. Again, one of the perfect examples of compounding. There are no invite links. I only want serious learners. If you are willing to learn, note my number, send me a message. WhatsApp, SMS, your choice. But don't keep on asking for the link. There are no links. You will not get any links. Nobody out of these 1500 has got it, so you will not also get it. So this is my YouTube channel. By my name only, Dr. Bhavdeep. If you forget, go to YouTube and search Dr. Bhavdeep Ahuja. Do subscribe and hit the bell icon. 475 plus videos are already there. If you want to learn from them, again, this is one of the perfect examples of compounding. Started less than 2 years back, touching about 500 videos. So social media presence by my name only, Dr. Bhavdeep, Insta Club and Clubhouse and Facebook. Of course, my page is Dr. Bhavdeep Ahuja, because my profile is by this name, so the page could not have been by Dr. Bhavdeep. So do send me your feedback if you had anything to gain from it. If you did not have anything to gain from it, even then do send me your feedback. Bouquets and brickbats both will be welcome in equal measure. And I thank you duly once again, and I stop my share for questions or acknowledging the visitors on my page where this session is happening. Okay, hello Dr. Lalit Goyal, hello Dr. Anupama, hello Dr. Renuka, hello Dr. Paramjeet, hello Dr. Ramchandra sir, hello Dr. SP Singh sir, hello Dr. Zubair, hi Ale, hello Dr. Dhagash, hello Dr. Dasri, hello Dr. Charu, hi Manandarjeet, hello Dr. Ajay, thank you Dhagash, really appreciate your feedback. Thank you Mayur, appreciate your feedback. Good evening. Thank you Dr. Anupama. Thank you Ramchandra sir. Any questions, I'll be willing to take them up. Please let me know. I think it is showing me as the questions thing. Just check, let me check. Okay, great. Okay, guys, see you next Monday for episode number 22 of the Miraculous Mondays on Practice Management or MLE, and the next Thursdays for episode number 22 of the Thunderous Thursdays. Bye bye, take care, have a great weekend.